Good morning and welcome to the first vlog. I've picked a nice day to start filming for a change, and I thought as it's the first one it would make sense to do a kind of meet the horses. So you can see I've got some friends behind me, so let's go and say hello. Hi, so this is Naz. She's our 6-year-old Arab. I think she's 6. She's very lightly backed, and just doing bits and pieces. She's got a bit of time off work at the moment because she's got we've been sorting out the fact she's got a bit of a sore back from falling over in the field. But yeah, hopefully that'll be sorted soon and we'll be able to start doing things with her. You see they're all very fluffy and muddy at the moment, so mine are all out 24/7. They live out and kind of just do their own thing, so I'm hoping I won't have to rug this year, but we'll see. No point when they're not doing anything. If they can cope without rugs, then it's better for everybody. So yeah, that's Naz. I'll come over and see the boys over here. This is Charlie. So Charlie is, oh god, I think Charlie is 9, or he might be 8. I can't remember completely. We've had him for probably 4 years now, because he was a school in livery first, and he came for 3 months first when we were at our old yard, and then he went home for a bit, and unfortunately the girl, for one thing or another, couldn't keep him anymore, and so he was gifted to us, and he's obviously been living with us since. I was going to sell him when he first came and find him a good home, but that never happened and he's still here. He's very sweet. He's about 13 to maybe 3 at push. I think he's Welsh D cross Gypsy Cob, I think. And yeah, he hasn't done a huge amount recently. He's a bit of a scaredy cat, and so hacking is, oh yeah, can be quite difficult, but hopefully I'd like to get him to some pleasure rides and some endurance rides next year, if he's big and brave enough to do that. And he jumps quite nicely as well, so the original idea was to event him, but just finding the time to do them at the moment is difficult enough, isn't it? Right, next we have Triple. Okay. So this is Triple. He's a bit shy, so he might not he's not the most sociable, as you can see. Come here. So he is 10 or 11. He doesn't like the camera. I just have to see him in the background. Yes, he's our biggest horse. He's only about 15 too, but compared to the rest of mine, he is our biggest one. He came as a backing livery, so we backed him a few years ago, and then we bought him. And again, he hasn't done a huge amount since. The idea for him as well was to event him, but he's also not very brave. He's a bit of a wimp and a bit of a wuss. So yeah, the plan over the winter and into the spring next year is to get him hacking and doing a bit more as well. Are you going to say hello now? There we go. It's not that bad. Hey? He's very soppy and he's very sweet, but he's just not very brave, although he is the boss in the field. So he's a big boy for me, and he's plenty big enough for me, but he's gone again. So that's the plan. I say I think he's 10, he might even be 11, I can't really remember soon. So Charlie, Naz there, and Triple has disappeared. disappeared again. Where is he? And there's Triple. So those three share a field. They're out here in all the nice long grass, and the others are in the other side, so we'll go and see them now. So who have we got here then? So this little fluffy one, you can see her. This is Gabby. So Gabby, out of everyone we've got now, I've had for the longest. She is 13, I think. Hello. And had her since she was 4. She's a section B. She's about 12-2, give or take a little bit. She was 13-1 and she had a bad accident which left her with some squash withers. So she's now a little bit smaller. She's primarily done dressage in the past with me, only up to novice level. She was prelim restricted points champion at one of our local championships, which run over the course of 6 months, so she's done quite well. We've done a few affiliated stuff, but not a huge amount, and the last sort of 18 months she hasn't done a huge amount really. This is the general consensus for everybody. So I can bring her back into work over the winter. She's not great at hacking because she's impatient and she doesn't stand very well for cars, and she likes to spend a lot of time on 2 legs. And yeah, you can see she's rather fat and fluffy at the moment. So yeah, she's our oldest now that we have here. Yeah, I'd like to start, you know, taking her out to the woods and stuff like that and getting her a bit fitter, and then getting back into our dressage and hopefully going and finally doing our elementary test that we've had penciled in the diary for the last 2 years and just not got round to doing for one thing and another. But yeah, she's not a kid's pony. She's quite feisty, but she's fun and I get on fine with her. Now that is the Gabster, and then over here is Gabby's sister. So Gabby's 13, that means Georgia is 12. I believe there's only a year between them. This is Georgia. So I bought her from obviously the same stud, but I got her when she was, I think she was 10. No, she must have been a bit younger than that. So I think we've had her for 3.5 years. So she must have been, say, 9.5 when we got her. I think that's right. And she's done very little. She was in a hand pony up until that point, so we backed her, or I backed her. Super easy to do. She's a little bit smaller than Gabby. She's only about 12-1, and she has got her withers, so she is 12-1. She's a little bit more sensible, and she's had kids ride her and do bits and pieces with her. And she likes a fuss a little bit more, don't you? Oh, you're scared of the camera as well. It's okay. Look. Hey, there you are. Yeah, she's very sweet. She can be a little bit sharp, but she's forward with brakes, which is nice. And the plan is for her is to do a bit more hacking over the winter as well, because I'd like to take her to a pleasure ride in the spring, and then maybe try and find a little jockey that would like to keep going with her, because I just don't have the time for everybody. And you know, she's Diddy, aren't you? But she's very cute. She's very much a people person. She likes people. She likes to chat. She can be a bit of a cow to the other horses sometimes, can't you? Hey? But generally speaking, she's very good, aren't you? And you can drag her out and just hop on, and she's normally the same as if you worked her every day sort of thing. So she's a nice easy pony. So again, obviously she's another section B. She's Gabby's full sister. Hey, and you? And you've been to the Royal Welsh in hand, not with me, and other county shows and stuff like that. She was did quite well in hand. And I just need to do a bit more with her ridden. She likes to jump and stuff like that, so we need to go and do some cross country and some show jumping and some bits and pieces, but doesn't really matter what she does if she's happy. No. So this is Beanie, who is Gabby and George's half sister. Good girl. She doesn't like the camera either. Good girly. So they've all got the same dad, and Beanie's got a different mum. So she's the biggest out of our 3 section Bs, but she's the only one that isn't. Her dad was a section B and her mum was a section A. So she's obviously picked up her dad's height. Good girl. Oh yeah, she really doesn't like it. Oh dear. Because she's about 12'3", so she's the biggest out of my 3 Bs. In fact, she's the biggest in here. There's no one in here bigger than 12'3". So she's my mum's pony now. And she's very good and sensible. So I'll probably overlay some clips of everybody doing their thing. She's done a few dressage tests. Again, she did in hand with the stud before I bought her at 5. I think she's the same age as Charlie, so she's 9, 6, 7, 8, 9. She'll be 9 next year, I think. Something like that. She's 8 or 9 anyway. And yeah, she's been doing some pleasure rides and some stuff like that, and really going well. But so I don't really ride her much these days because she's mum's pony. But so we'll move on to the next one as he's here. So this is Sunny. Sunny is a big baby, aren't you? So he's our section C, and he's very inquisitive and very clever. Are you gonna come down here? And I've got my high vis on because we're going to go for a walk in a minute. So he's only about 12'2", but he's, as you can see, quite chunky. Obviously being a section C, he's chunkier anyway. There's a good boy. And he's a bit of a wimp. He's done lots of dressage as well. He's competed up to novice too. He's done a little bit of show jumping, but he's not very good at it. Are you? You're not very good. Yeah, so I haven't been cross country with him. Whoops. Because I think we'd both end up on the floor. Right. But yeah, he's done good, and he's done some showing and some in-hand stuff. Again, I bought him when he was 4. He's a later foal, so he was a little bit younger in terms of year, if you know what I mean, when I got him. Backed him again. He was super easy, and he's been doing a bit more hacking recently and growing up a little bit. So again, he'd be another one that I would like to do some endurance on. Obviously he wouldn't go very far, but he's quite comfy. He's just not very sensible, but we'll get there. And again, it'd be nice to do his first elementary at some point, and that's been booked in for him for God knows how long as well, and just keeps not happening. Right? I'm not worried about jumping him because I say he's not got the natural talent for jumping. He's a bit rubbish, aren't you? You're a bit rubbish. He's very clever though, and he likes to you know, he enjoys the clicker training stuff that we do, and playing with his gym ball and the cones and all that sort of stuff. So he's very clever. He's a bit of an escapee as well. He tends to always be in the wrong field at least once a month, if not more than that, once he's found a way out. And yeah, all fat and fluffy at the moment and hairy, but happy. And lastly in here is little Dusty. So she's my fun pony, as I often describe her. She's a bit grumpy, and she probably won't like the camera either. But so she's disappearing. Dusty. She's section A. She's 12 hands. Obviously they're not meant to go any bigger than that, so that's fine. You wanna let me come down in front of you? Hello. She's a bit suspicious of people. She can be a bit... Oh, Sunny, stop eating the camera. You know, she can be a bit of a pain to catch sometimes and little things like that. And she's a bit grumpy. I bought her at 3 to sell. She was £100. Got her from a local, well, not local, but local-ish dealer. Sunny, go away. And yeah, I bought her to sell her, so very lightly backed her that winter, and then she had, you know, went out as they do and brought her back in. She's done cross country, she's jumped, she's done dressage, although it's not her forte. And this year she's been my little endurance pony, doing all the pleasure rides and having fun basically. She's a good easy pony, but she can be quite strong. But she's a good girl. Sunny's trying to eat my camera. She's very lightly broken to drive as well. We did that when we were at our old yard. And again took it all in her stride quite happily, quite easily. So yeah, she's got the winter off now. She did her last fun ride about a month ago now actually, and she hasn't been ridden since then. Hello Sunny, go away. So we're just, say she's got the rest of the year off, and then we'll come back in and we got some more pleasure rides to do next year. I've got a jumping saddle sorted for her so we can go cross country again, and do some of the more fun stuff again and go from there. So there you have it, that is everybody. Bit of a boring video, but I thought it'd be good to introduce everyone properly so that going forward you kind of know who everyone is, what they've done, what they've been up to, how old they are and what they are. So yeah, hopefully the next one will be a little bit more exciting, and actually do some stuff. But yeah, that is everybody, and see you in the next one.